Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this new session of the Patient Engagement Open Forum with the tagline Into Reality. It's a pleasure for us today to present you the Paradigm Patient Engagement Toolbox, but also the Patient Engagement Monitoring and Evaluation Framework. We have about a bit more than 80 people, 80 or now 90 people in the session, so thank you very much. I have to say that the session is recorded because we are going to put the recording on the website and will be made available afterwards. So first of all, a few words about what is the Patient Engagement Open Forum. So it's a series of virtual events in 2020. You know why it's online, and we work together in a multi-stakeholder context to turn patient engagement into reality. The forum aims to provide an holistic perspective of patient engagement, the landscape and actors. We want to foster collaboration and co-creation, and this is not a vain word. It really means something for us, for the three organizers of this Patient Engagement Open Forum. We want to co-create and breaking down the fragmentation that is often present in patient engagement. I'm meeting everybody now in the meeting as well. So we are here on September 10th. We already have 3 dates for the open forum. Most of you joined. And in 2 weeks' time, on September 24th, we also have 3 fantastic sessions happening. So I will really encourage you to join as well in 2 weeks, and then on October 15 and on November. The agenda for today, again, very simple, the Patient Engagement Toolbox that I will present with Shipa Karinen from the Synergist and the PFMD. That's going to take about half an hour, and then for an hour and a half, we're going to show you the Patient Engagement Monitoring and Evaluation Framework. So first, some words about what's the Patient Engagement Toolbox before how it goes. So it was created in the context of the Paradigm project. And Paradigm is Patient Active in Research and Dialogue for an Improved Generation of Medicines. It's a 33-month consortium. We still have 2 months to run. So it means that we started in 2018 with one single and very simple goal: to make patient engagement in medicine development easier for all. It's pretty simple, but that's our overarching goal. This work was done in 3 phases since 2018. We gathered data via online surveys, focus group, consultations. And thank you very much to all the people here joining this meeting and also answering those survey consultations and participation in focus group. We also run a gap analysis of what exists, what doesn't exist in the patient engagement ecosystem. And then we prioritize the gaps with the Delphi process. We're going to publish all the results of this phase, and we are submitting the paper anytime now. The phase 2, creation of the tools and the patient engagement toolbox. Okay, again, to make patient engagement easier. So we created the tools. That took a while, and you also participate in this. And 2 sessions at the open forum in June and July were part of this process. So again here, thank you very much for the participation. But the tools at the toolbox, great, but we don't want them to sit on the shelf. And that's why we have the 3rd phase, engagement with the medicine development community to communicate, to disseminate the tools. And this is also why we're here today. The open forum is part of this phase. So you may be wondering, who are the folks who worked in the Paradigm? Well, that's the list. That's the logos of the members of the consortium. But you see here, you will recognize most of the big companies, 4 patient groups, few research foundation, 2 SMEs, etc. But we also would like to thank the members of the Paradigm International Liaison Group we work, because the overall idea here was to never duplicate only synergize. Okay. And that was very important. We didn't want to create things that already exist or are being created. And that's why it was important to bring the community together to develop only the tools that were needed. The objectives of the tools, very simple, okay? To increase the preparedness of the different stakeholders to do patient engagement, to develop guidance on patient engagement, addressing each key stakeholder group requirements, because we all have different requirements. And we also wanted to enhance the stakeholder capacity to really implement efficiently patient engagement activities. Now we needed a place where to gather all those tools together, and that's why we created the patient engagement toolbox. Did you see that maybe in the pre-reads of the session? If not, it doesn't really matter, because it's my great pleasure to show you the live demo. It won't be me, it will be she, so I'm just giving the floor to she. So now, she, you can be the host, and you can really showcase and show what is the patient engagement toolbox. I think you have the floor now.
Yes, thank you, Matthew. And welcome from my part as well, everyone. So great to see so many joining us today. Let me know when you see my screen.
It's okay.
Great. We are so proud to present to you this toolbox. Like Matthew said, it has been a work since 2018. Everything that we have done leads up to this moment. The toolbox, however, is being still developed, so you can already click around in it, but you will see things shifting because we're still finalizing, adding those tools, creating the links to them. The toolbox will host all those outputs that you have seen and will see as well in Paradigm, produced by Paradigm. It sits under IMI Paradigm website, and right now you can only access it through the link, so you can't access it yet from the homepage, but once it's ready, there will be a button, there will be a link, so you can click through it and you land on the toolbox here. What we wanted to do is to really help everyone who needs tools for doing their patient engagement when planning or even conducting or afterwards in the reporting evaluation phase, that you can find those specific tools relevant to you. That's why these tools have been categorized the way they are there today. Really glad to say all of these tools have gone out for public consultation. Everyone who were following the Paradigm journey will have seen those calls for input, calls for feedback during the summer. It was a very tight schedule, but we did go through the public consultation with all of those tools, and Paradigm partners, the PIL group had also seen this multiple times over in the development as well. So it's truly co-created, and now you'll get to see it for the first time. So how does the toolbox work? Very simply, this is a very quick demo because it's still in development, but eventually when it's ready, each of these blocks will be clickable as well. When you hover over it, you will see a very brief description in a pop-up, and that way you don't have to always click open to see if that's a relevant tool for you. If you are more interested, for example, with this conflict of interest guidance, you can click to the page that will have a description for that tool. It also lists all the relevant parts of that tool for you to download. So for example, if you were interested in this and you have gone through the description and you understand that actually it's the tool for you, then you would be able to download the guidance. It will open up to a separate PDF that you can download. Or maybe you just needed the other resources that this group has provided to you, whether it's the activity log or the educational scenarios. You can always click on those and open it up to a separate tab. In addition, every tool will also have a methodology section and a list of contributors who were there to help develop this specific tool from the Paradigm Consortium. Related to this tool as well, you will see all the communication that we have created, the blog posts, the articles that we have produced over the 2 years as well. So it's meant to be a one place for each of the tool where we gather everything, so you don't have to go into resources, look for the related blog post. We aim to have everything in one place so that you can also take a step back and see how did we get here, what has been communicated, and so on. I want to show you an example of another tool as well. So if we go into conducting patient engagement, for example, all these tools are different. So you will see different things, but they will always have a landing page. They will always have a list of tools. Here you can identify that this page is under construction because there is a placeholder. So when you see something like this, you'll know that it's not ready, it's not there yet, the buttons don't work. So come back at the end of the month, it will be ready then. Same structure for each and every tool. That will then actually, I want to show you also how we have thought about the amplifying the dissemination, the sustainability of these tools, because as we know, Paradigm ends at the end of November. So this page will still be there, it will work. You can find these tools still, even if the consortium as such, the project will end. But just to help the dissemination further, we have also already in the submission phase of this project, we had already thought about, well, how do we amplify the communication, dissemination of this toolbox? How do we make sure that it reaches far and wide? Two partners here, PFMD and UPATI, have also made additions to their online platforms to accommodate the Paradigm Toolbox so that it also sits in external platforms so that people who maybe not know Paradigm can also access the Paradigm content. I'll show you a very quick example of the two platforms. On PFMD, there is a platform called Synapse, and in Synapse, without registering, without signing in, you can go to the resources page, and in the resources it holds all kinds of resources from any organization. But in here specifically, you can either search with a specific term, it could be Paradigm, it could be maybe a keyword on the tool that you're looking for. But as we are developing this place for the Paradigm Toolbox, and this is still under development, once the Paradigm Toolbox is done, it will be fully also linked to the PFMD platform and UPATI. But here is a teaser or a taster for you at least. So when you are on Synapse, in tags, you can scroll down and see Paradigm Patient Engagement Toolbox. Click on that and you can find all those tools related to Paradigm Toolbox filtered out. So we wanted to create a dedicated page as well for the Paradigm Toolbox that really shows you the tools in the same way as you would see it on the Paradigm website. Here, the tools that we looked at, for example, the conflict of interest, when you click on that, it shows you the same information that you would see on a Paradigm website. You have the image, you have the description, and also you'll have the links to lead you to those resources. Same thing when we look at UPATI. UPATI website, there is a toolbox button where you can go to. Click on the patient engagement toolbox, and that will then lead you to the relevant patient engagement tools. And here as well, our UPATI colleagues have uploaded one just to show you as an example how you can access these tools that are from the Paradigm Toolbox. By clicking on that tool, it will show you the same thing. It will have the description of the tool, and then you can also have the links to those extra resources that have been provided by this group. And of course, you'll have the image as well to show how the tool looks like online and how it looks like when you download it as well. Coming back to the toolbox, that's a very, very quick demo. And I want to give it back now to Matthew for questions and answers, but I will also end with this screen that we will be discussing next. So it will be the Patient Engagement Monitoring and Evaluation Framework. You can already find the basic the description on the toolbox. You can already also find the two-pager that will guide you through and explains to you further how the framework works. Back to you, Matthew.
Thank you, Shi. So we have about 150 people in this call. So because we want to avoid as much as possible background noises, we can only take questions in the chat. So if you want to know what are the requirements if you want to lead to the toolbox, or what are inside the toolbox, what you will find, and so on, please don't hesitate to send us a chat. You can use the chat in your comment. I think everybody knows now how to use Zoom. It's pretty simple. Every organization can send the link back to the Paradigm Patient Engagement Toolbox. It just has to be acknowledged. So Magda is asking if other organizations have tools, can they be added to the toolbox? I think that's a question from Magda Schlebrus from FPIA. I don't think we plan for now, as it is now, maybe in the next iteration, to have people adding tools. However, we can always make the links to the different toolbox and platforms as we have in the from UPATI and PFMD, and maybe that could be a good idea, something I didn't think, that in the Paradigm Toolbox we can link to or also to PFMD and UPATI, and then everything is vice versa.
Yeah, that's right. At the moment, there's no possibility to add external tools on the Paradigm Toolbox, unfortunately.
Then we have a question from Paul Robinson at MSD. Once Paradigm ends, how we keep things alive. So indeed, sustainability of the tools and the toolbox has been a major concern for us as a consortium. It's a very difficult question, because we know that when we work under the AMI funding, at the end of a finite period, the funding dries out. So what we've come up with between EPF, so the European Patients Forum, PFMD, and also UPATI, is trying to have the Patient Engagement Open Forum continue for at least 3 to 5 years. Really a willingness to make it happen next year, and within next year, within the business model, there will be some budget allocated for the next 3 to 5 years to the toolbox. It's difficult to commit further than 3 to 5 years, because nobody can really know what would be the landscape of such fast evolving ecosystem. So 3 to 5 years, it's probably a promise that we can meet easily, and that makes sense. And that's how we would like to do things in the very near future. We have a question from Janelle Bowden. I remember seeing a spreadsheet of lots of other tools and resources around the world. Would this be on the toolbox? Shi, do you want to take that one?
Sure. I think, Janelle, you're referring to the list of practices and patient engagement projects that were listed as part of Work Package 2. And Work Package 2 was the work package that took the learnings from the survey that we created and the criteria for patient engagement, and actually reviewed existing frameworks and practices and created these gap analysis from which we have these tools now. That list and the resources that have been collected actually is as part of work package 2 outcomes. There is a task in that work package where we said that we take all these identified resources, identified projects, and we upload on Synapse. So you can see that already in Synapse as Paradigm, linked to Paradigm in the same screen that I showed you in resources, and you can identify that list as well. So it's there, but it's not as part of this toolbox because it's not Paradigm co-created tool.
We have a question from Richie Kessels who says, great work all. Thank you very much, and thank you to all the contributors around the globe. A lot of people participated. Now that you want to know more about PFMD, UPATI, and Paradigm, so I will take Paradigm, and I will let she answer about PFMD, and I'd like to see if we have somebody in the audience who can speak for PFMD, for UPATI, or I can take that. So Paradigm is a public-private partnership financed by the European Commission through the Innovative Medicine Initiatives and FPIA. It's a 33-month project, 34 partners coming from the industry, from the patient community and academic team. And the whole idea was to develop resources, material, to make patient engagement easier, as I said in the beginning. We also work on another streamline that we didn't show here today. It was the sustainability of the patient engagement ecosystem. And we developed a roadmap that we just submitted to a paper, so we cannot really share with you just yet. But we want to have a call of action, really to call towards sustainability of the entire ecosystems when it comes to resources, but not only on skills, on processes and culture. So that's what we want to develop. Can you take PFMD?
Yeah, so PFMD really is a collaboration of multiple different stakeholders. We are a global nonprofit, and we really have one aim: to ensure systematic patient engagement to happen, to create tools and frameworks to help that, and also ensure that we enable as much as we can, create conditions for patient engagement. And I think the collaboration between UPATI, Paradigm, and PFMD also emphasizes that the tools or resources and outcome that we create will not duplicate, that they're developed in synergies, that they help support each other as well. I think that's very briefly of PFMD. I think there might be Maria or Camilla for UPATI.
I'm trying to find, but I think they send their apologies. So I can probably take it. So UPATI is now a foundation with aim to empower the patient community through education and training when it comes to medicine development. Basically, Ingrid, I see you on videos.
Mathieu.
Oh, Maria, okay, you have,
Hello.
oh, indeed, you're here.
Thank you. This is Maria from UPATI. I managed to unmute myself, thank you. So the European Patients Academy was established as an IMI project originally in 2012. And indeed, as Mathieu said, we focused on patient education and training. And our main activity is so-called patient expert training course, which is a 14-month course for patients and patient representatives to learn about medicines R&D. And this has been going on since 2014. So, and as G has showed, we have this online toolbox, which is, we are very happy to also host the Paradigm tools in the future.
Thank you, Maria. We got two questions that were already answered in the chat. One was about few individual metrics. So as Paul mentioned, this is right after us. The next topic is the metrics. So bear with us for a little bit more. And We have Kerry who asked if that will be open access with no charge or requirements. Yes, indeed, you can use, and that's free of charge, because that was developed also through public money, and that's a requirement, and that's the right thing to do. And then we got Nancy Hamilton from the CHRE from Nancy. For now, you want Nancy to have that translated in French. I'm afraid that won't be possible in the time frame and the budget we have. What we have is like, it's EHEG, one of our partners in Paradigm, who took on his own initiative to translate most of the tools, if not all the tools, in Russian, because they have a large membership in Eastern Europe. But when it comes to the other languages, I'm afraid that's something we cannot do right now. But indeed, if we need to have an upgrade of the toolbox, that will probably come as an action point, for sure. Then we got a question from Richard Masterson, who asked if there going to be ongoing reporting on how the tool will be utilized. So we debated that. How can we monitor the use of the tool? And at the end of the day, we decided not also for data management. We decided that it was much easier to let the tool live their own life, and people as well to adapt the tool to their own organization. That's why you can develop a PDF, but also a Word document. Probably not all the tools are fit for all the type of stakeholders. So the whole idea as well is to have a great base, and is to tweak the tools to your own needs. And when it comes to do that, then the tools have their own life, and it's difficult to monitor and to track the use. So we have another question, can we partner to make the translation into Spanish? We can help with the resources. So we have a question, or more a suggestion and a proposal from Eva Maria Ruiz de Castilla. Yes, please, if you can take the tools and translate that into Spanish, of course, this is more than welcome. Please let us know about the tools, and we will be more than happy to upload them in our toolbox. We can take all the tools and all the help we can from around the world. This is for sure. I think we can leave 1 or 2 minutes if we have 1 or 2 more questions. And then we can jump into the next topic. Okay, so I think we can move on. On behalf of the Paradigm members and consortium and project for more than 2.5 years, thank you very much to all the people who participate in the creation of the tools. This is really unexpected, but maybe not unexpected, but very appreciated that we work together as a community to develop those tools that we hope can have their own life and be used in each of your organization. The one you want, tweak them as you see fit for you. And really, the idea is to lower the bar and to make patient engagement happen and easier for all. Yeah. So I think now I see that you passed the host of the meeting to Liaison at Amsterdam, in Amsterdam. So Liaison, I think the floor is yours, and you can run through your monitoring and evaluation framework with your colleague.
So actually, I think the floor is mine, Liaison.